Hello. Thank you for the responses, for wanting me to continue this story. I appreciate it greatly. It's nice to get nice responses in such a short period of time from a few people. Thank you very much. So anyway, so I was in Tokyo. I had got myself accommodation courtesy of the Shacho in his house in the west of Tokyo. Now, he didn't actually live there. His wife lived there, and as it turned out later, it was a wife of convenience, whereas he was a very wealthy man, and for business purposes he needed a wife, or it would seem strange to other presidents that he didn't have a wife, but they lived separate lives. She lived in the house in Tokyo, he lived in an apartment in Shinagawa. Anyway, they put me in a room at the front of the house, which was a very old-fashioned room with a square hearth and a steel thing hanging from the ceiling and a steel pot, and I think and the earth, where sometimes they would they would bake fish over an open fire. So it's very, very traditional. Even though I had about $2,000, this money soon goes. Even just going in coffee shops or wherever, it disappears quickly. And I had accommodation, so if I didn't have accommodation, that would have been an even greater problem. So if you're coming to Japan, try to get your accommodation and work first. That is a good idea. But there are a lot of cheap places now. Or if you're like Mark, bring a tent. And so that weekend, the boss arranged for me to go out with one of his employees, and he showed me around Shinjuku. And first of all, we went in a German Hofbräuhaus on the main strip there at the edge of Kabukicho, and later we went to like a hostess place or a show. So it was a good night. But while we were in the German bar, I mentioned to his employee that the guys, they were just pulling beer and dishing it out. And I said I could do that. That wouldn't be a problem. I don't need to speak Japanese. And on Monday, the following Monday, I got a call from one of his employees. Please come in for an interview for the German bar. And so I went in, and I met the Shacho, Aso-san, Mrs. Aso, and then she took me to see her Keitel, a German who'd been in Japan. I think he was well known, and I met him, and then they took me to a shop to buy clothes for the job, and I started. It was about 1,000 yen per hour, and I think I worked maybe 4 days a week, something like that, 5 days a week. And the girls that worked there, some were German and some were Spanish. Their conditions were greatly different. Even though they weren't the best looking of girls, they still got very good pay, which was about 2,500 yen. They worked about 4 hours a night, 5 days a week, so they could get 200,000 yen for 4 hours, which was great for them. But no such pay for me. But I wasn't complaining yet. And so now I'd got a job. I didn't have a visa, so they didn't mess about with things like that. My boss, because he just put me on his books. He had about 5,000 people working for him, so one more really didn't make a difference. So now I got accommodation, I got a job, and I was beginning to enjoy life in Japan. I think that's about it for now. I will go on with another one later. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.